Hello, everyone. This is Jeana. We're just getting started. I'm on, and Celine is coming on as well. So we should both be on. We'll wait for her to come on in the next few minutes. Today's show is something that is really close to my heart and I like talking about. Today, we're going to be talking about comedogenicity and some little known facts about what it means when you see a label that says non-comedogenic, or when you see something that says oil free, and then you assume that it's going to be safe for acne prone skin, and that's just not the case. So, right now, I'm waiting for Celine to jump on with us. We're having a little technical difficulty, it looks like. Here she
There
is.
we go.
Now we're both on. Yay.
Wonderful. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, this is our first time doing a split screen like this in this format. So we had a little
Yeah,
bit of a technical difficulty, but
we had a
now we're
few hiccups.
here. Yeah. Gina, do you want to introduce us to our topic today?
Yeah, I was just explaining to everyone that we're going to be talking about a topic that's really close to our hearts, and that is comedogenicity. Because many of you probably know, I mean, from the time I was in high school, I learned to look for products that said non-comedogenic, and then they wouldn't give me blackheads or make me break out. And it wasn't until about 15 years ago, after becoming an esthetician and working with acne clients, that I learned that there is no board or no adherence code at all to that term non-comedogenic. There's nobody regulating that term. So anybody can put that on their product if they want to. Many products can put the words oil free on their product, but that doesn't mean that they don't contain acne causing ingredients. And
Yes, I feel
so,
like I get that question a lot. People say, "Oh, I only want oil-free products." And when you ask them why, they say, "Oh, it's because I'm acne prone and any oils will make me break out." But that's just a common misconception. It's not true.
yeah, it's actually not true. And the first person to really do any studies around comedogenicity was Dr. Fulton. Dr. Fulton was one of my mentors in the acne world. He was also the mentor for the founder of Face Reality Cosmetics. He really got us our start. He was the original developer of Retin A, and he worked with a lot of acne clients. He himself suffered from acne from the time he was a baby, very severe acne. And so he started working with, he was one of the first people to ever work with benzoyl peroxide and the first doctor to develop and use retinol. His biggest frustration was that he created retinol, and then the pharmacy people, the labs that were putting the formulators, started putting it into creams that contained acne causing ingredients. And that's when he realized, oh, I've got to start making my own skincare products. And that's where the line Vivant was um, originally came from. And kind of from Vivant, then Face Reality was born, and we started using Face Reality products. A lot of the Vivant products were very strong, and I've had some up close and talks with Dr. Fulton before he died. And just, talks about using retinol. He really believed that you needed to use retinol on everybody, and a scrub. He wanted you to use a benzoyl peroxide scrub and retinol, and I said, "Yeah, but that causes so much purging and scarring." He goes, "Well, it has to come up and out. That's the only way." And I said, "Well, actually, I'm finding that you can just use BPO with no scrub, and you don't use the retinol, and you dry it up faster, and you don't have such a big, massive purge that causes so much scarring." And he would just say, "Oh." But anyway, he's a fascinating person. He did the original studies around comedogenicity. He said, he would notice, they started noticing in the 70s that these women were breaking out on their cheeks. They were adult women getting acne. And he realized it's the ingredients in their makeup. So he went and decided to start doing some studies. So in 1989, he did studies using rabbits, and he would test on the inside of the rabbit ears, And what he found was that an ingredient that would cause a breakout in a human would take 6 weeks before that breakout would happen. And so that's why sometimes when you start using a new cream or you use a makeup, it takes 6 weeks for that to develop into full-blown acne. But what he found is when he's testing on the inside of rabbit ears, it only took 2 weeks. So we don't use rabbits anymore, but we have some pretty detailed studies that Dr. Fulton did, and he ranked all the ingredients from 0 to 5 on how irritating or how pore
Mhm.
clogging the ingredient would be. And you'll see even on his studies that some things would say, oh, 2 to 4. That might be something like jojoba oil might be from a 2 to a 4, and it really depends on how it's processed. So sometimes an ingredient might only be a 2 and you can get away with a 2, but if it's processed in the wrong way or if it's combined with other ingredients that are ranking around a 2 or a 3 and you combine them, then all of a sudden it's a recipe for breakouts on the skin.
Mhm.
He discovered that there are many oils that we can use, even waxes that we can use that do not contribute to acne. And there are many that do contribute to acne. And when we started in this industry 20 years ago, we were just heading into the coconut craze. Do you remember that, Celine?
Yes.
Everybody was
Everything had
using
coconut.
coconut oil, just pure coconut oil on their faces, their hair,
Mhm.
eating it, and eating it turns out it's fine. The problem is putting it on your face, and so we got a lot of our early acne clients because people were using coconut oil on their face, and it was so funny because some people would say, "Oh, coconut oil cleared my skin," and then other people would put it on and it'd be, "No, absolutely not. It caused them to break
Yeah.
out." And sometimes people would ask me what I do when I was out shopping around about, and I'd tell them, I work with acne. And they'd say, "Oh, I have these breakouts." And first thing I'd ask them, "Well, do you put coconut oil on your face?" And they'd say, "Yeah." I said, "Stop doing that." And then I'd go back and see them a month later and get my smoothie or something. And they'd say, "Oh, you're back. It worked. My skin is all clear now," because they weren't using that coconut oil on their
Mhm.
skin anymore. So there is no regulatory board that is regulating those products that say non-comedogenic. But what we do have is
Mhm.
we have a lot of us now. I've been in the industry about 20 years, and we work off of Dr. Fulton's initial studies with the rabbits. And then we just are relying on our own empirical observations and sharing it amongst other estheticians who work in the acne field, and we've added a few more ingredients along the way to Dr. Fulton's list because, as you guys know, more ingredients are being used, new formulations of different
Mhm.
oils are coming on board. And so there's always something new, and we try them out and we see, does this make someone break out or not? There are some third-party regulators now who are trying to work into that realm um, of non-comedogenic, saying, well, this is third party tested. Some of those third party tests can be okay. What we're finding is, like Dr. Fulton found with the rabbit ears, is that you've got to have at least 6 weeks of trial and you need to have a pretty broad base. If they're only testing 10 to 30 people, it's an iffy. I mean, that can give you some indication. If they're going less than 6 weeks, it's not even reliable at all. So a couple of our brands have done some third-party testing. Celine, can you tell us about that?
Yes. So, Scene Hair Care specifically has done a bunch of different third party tests, actually. They did a third party test on how well the Scene Hair Care products help with hair shedding and thinning. They did third party testing proving that their hair care helped protect your hair from UVs. But most important, they did right away, they did non comedogenic testing with their hair care. So that's a test that's about 8 weeks long. They put a swatch of product on someone's facial skin and then they see how it reacts. On top of that, as well, they looked at the residue that's left behind after you use Scene Hair Care products versus like your top selling drugstore brand. And the results on that were also really interesting. Scene really doesn't leave a residue on the skin after you rinse it off with water, whereas these other big brands are designed to cling to the hair to leave a film and therefore are clinging to your face. So they kind of went above and beyond because sometimes a product can be, according to our list, acne safe, having no comedogenic ingredients. But if it's a product like hair care that's literally formulated to create a coating on your hair to keep it shiny and soft, think about what that's doing on your skin if it is leaving that residual film. So, what Scene did is they went really above and beyond. They showed that it's non comedogenic and they showed that it's not leaving this film layer on your skin that's going to cause irritation, breakouts, blackheads, all of that gunk.
Interactions. Yeah,
Yes.
15, 18 years ago, um, when I would see people come in with breakouts, I could recognize exactly what shampoo they were using. And Redken All Soft. All you guys, when you guys were in junior high and high school, everyone wanted
Yep.
Redken All Soft, and that's all I had to say is, "Are you using Redken All Soft?" And they'd be,
It's still
"You've got
big.
to
I see it
stop
on
using
TikTok
it."
all the time.
You can't use that stuff. It's bad for breakouts. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
So,
excellent.
Gina, I want you to touch a little bit on what's the
Mhm.
difference between a non-comedogenic or what's the difference between a comedogenic ingredient and an acne-genic ingredient? Because those terms get thrown around a lot.
They do. So neither of those terms are regulated in any
Hmm.
way. But comedogenic is generally we're thinking in terms of clogged pores. Is this going to clog your pores? Where acnegenic can go beyond that to actual irritants, to something that will actually irritate your hair follicle and cause breakouts due to that irritation.
Yeah. So an example of that is a lot of people will bring up and ask us why talc is on our comedogenic ingredients list because technically talc doesn't clog the pore. But talc is a mineral that is shaped with spiky, jagged edges. It's often used in makeup and it can create like irritation and itchy red skin, especially when it's in a high concentration. So that's kind of an example of ingredients you might see on the list that when you're like, does that really clog pores? What's the deal with that? But it can be on that
Right.
list because it is so irritating to your skin that it is very likely to cause some sort of eruption or reaction on your face.
Absolutely, and in fact, talc, if you inhale it, will cause lung cancer.
Hmm.
So,
And Diane just put in a question that is a
okay,
great
I'll let you read
question.
questions. Great.
She asks, are all comedogenic ingredients bad? Like, if I don't have acne, is it still bad to use? No, absolutely not. So, of course, there are some ingredients on our list of acne causing ingredients that pretty much everyone should avoid. That would be ingredients like sodium lauryl sulfate. That is a very harsh
Stripping.
surfactant that totally strips your skin of all of its natural oils and can be really just too harsh to use. But some other ingredients are ingredients that are totally safe for non-acne prone skin. So that'd be ingredients like algae extract, which is actually has a
Yeah.
lot of anti-aging benefits and antioxidant benefits. So there are many ingredients and many non-acne safe products that are fabulous to use if you're not prone to acne.
And that's why the studies can get skewed because if you're only testing 10 to 30 people, if they're not acne prone, those ingredients might not cause a problem. But if you're like Dr. Fulton, you're born with that genetic predisposition to acne, then it is going to cause acne on your skin. So that's
Mhm.
why studies can be a little misleading sometimes. That's
Yeah,
why it's
and
so
we
great that Scene did the two-part study, that there's no
mhm.
residue as well as not causing a breakout in their test subjects.
Yep. And so much of skincare is formulation too, which can be so tricky. Like we have some products on our website that we have recommended and used on acne prone skin for years and years. I'm talking 10 plus years. We have used these on acne clients and not seen issues. But there's an ingredient in there that makes it technically not acne safe, so it doesn't have the badge. So if you are not familiar with our badge system, if something is acne safe, according to our list, we put an acne safe badge. But we made that choice that even if a product we find it to be acne safe and it works for clients, we choose to not put that label on there to have that really stringent, like so that we know and you know that absolutely this product has no pore clogging ingredients in it. But there can be gray areas. It's so tricky because sometimes the way something's formulated, it's totally safe.
There
And
are gray areas.
I wish we
Mhm.
had the budget to send all of our products to third-party testing
Right.
to do comedogenic testing, but
It would have to be on
it's
rabbits. I don't know.
yep. It's
I
just
do
it's
know
difficult
that
to do.
sometimes you'll see products on our website that might have one ingredient that is on our list, but we have done the research and we know that that number is very low.
Mhm.
And that, because everything is ranked 1 to 5 on how, or 0 to 5 on how irritating or comedogenic it might be. And occasionally we have some products, like Celine said, that we've been using for 15 plus years with acne, not having a problem. And we know it's one ingredient, but it's a very small, small, small amount, and it doesn't cause any kind of acne problems or irritation. So occasionally you'll see that. And usually we'll put a note on it by the ingredient saying this particular ingredient's processed correctly or something like that to let you
Mhm.
know why we've allowed that acne safe badge to be put on there. Now, another thing I want to touch on is that we might have products on our website that don't have any of the ingredients that are on that no list for acne sufferers. And it has that acne safe badge up there. And a person might use it and find after using it 3 to 5 weeks that they are getting breakouts. And that's
Mhm.
because there's no one size fits all. We are all unique. And for instance, somebody who has very oily acne might not be able to use some of the products that have more oils in them without getting some bacteria growth because
Mhm.
of too much oil on the skin. So, where a really dry skinned acne person can actually use some of these oils and not have any breakouts and actually clear up because their skin's getting more of a healthy barrier. So
Mhm.
it's really not a one size fits all, but it gives us a good idea of where to start.
Yes, absolutely. And I because it is so interesting. One of the ingredients that is acne safe, but is a one, so we consider it
Mhm.
acne safe because it's just a one, is jojoba oil. That's in tons of our products that are acne safe. We love that product. But say you combined jojoba oil with another one or two. So that could be like another one of our oils. We have some seed oils that are also a little bit on the side. So like rose hip oil is also a one.
Or, yeah, evening primrose
So
oil is a 3. Yeah.
So if you start stacking those ones together in a formula and you've got a lot of them, then you no longer have a foolproof acne safe formula.
Because it all
Um,
adds up.
because
Or
yes, it all adds up.
what about if you use a moisturizer that has maybe that jojoba oil or some other oil that's just a 2, but then you use a makeup that has something that's a 2 or 3 in it, then all of a sudden it's all over, right? It's all over.
That is tricky. And that's another thing. So makeup, like hair care, there are so many makeup products that I've used that are totally safe based on the ingredients, but they are literally formulated with these film formers and thickeners to make them last 24 hours. Long lasting makeup
Yeah.
is the thing right now. Everything says 24-hour wear, 48-hour wear, and they are adding all of these film formers and all these gums into the formulation to make it last a long
Mhm.
time, and it is therefore causing breakouts because it is so hard to remove from your skin unless you're doing like triple
Right.
cleanses and really scrubbing your face, which then might make your face kind of red and dry. So it's
Absolutely,
very
and
tricky.
some of those newer ingredients in those makeups haven't been tested. You're the
Mhm.
guinea pig. You're doing the trial and error on it. You're gonna figure out whether or not it's gonna be acne safe or not.
Mhm.
The other thing about, um, OTC, over the counter makeup, is that they change the ingredients all the time.
This is so true.
And they don't change the box with the list or the labels until they run out, and then they change the labels. So you might have been
Mhm.
using a foundation for years and thought, "Oh, this my makeup doesn't make me break out," and then all of a sudden you're breaking out, and we go to check and we find out, oh, this makeup, they actually changed some ingredients in it and now it is causing you a problem. So
Mhm.
you've got to be really careful. I love shopping on Sephora. Celine and I are both makeup junkies. We do a really natural look, but boy, we like playing with
We love it.
makeup.
Yeah.
and it's just not really reliable. Our more professional brands of makeup, say Jane Iredale, Lily Lolo, um, uh,
Yeah, I would say
Illuminaire, all of
mhm.
those are professional level. They are you can trust them to be putting the ingredients they say they're putting in their products.
And
It's
I will
not
also
like
say if you really want to be as safe as possible, just avoid things that say 24-hour wear, that say
yeah.
waterproof, water resistant. Don't go for that stuff. Try to go for more mineral foundations. The absolute safest foundation you could ever use is a simple powder mineral foundation, something like Lily Lolo or the powder from Jane Iredale. Those are your
In the
safest bet.
loose. Jane Iredale's loose powder, not her
Mhm.
pressed powder. Bare Minerals. If you go with Bare Minerals, you've got to use their original formula. Their newer formulas have this active soil ingredient that causes breakouts. So
Mhm.
um, even with mineral makeups, you got to be a little bit careful and check your
It's true.
labels.
Yeah, only the Bare Minerals original is safe because they have
That's
some
right.
other formulations now, like a radiant one and a more mattifying one, and those are not
Yeah,
safe anymore.
they're not.
It's
And a
tough.
lot of time pressed. Anything pressed is
Mhm.
usually not good. Those
Usually it's
binders that
pressed with
make
an
it
oil.
stick together, that's going to make it stick in your pores and cause
Mhm.
irritation and breakouts.
And then really making sure you're double cleansing. Because
Yeah.
if there is anything in that makeup that might possibly clog your pores or anything, make sure you're double cleansing and you're removing it all the way.
Yeah.
Another hot tip that I have for that is if you are using a silicone sunscreen as your primer, something like Tizo 3 or Tizo AM Replenish, those are silicone based and they actually create a nice little layer on the face between your skin and your makeup. And so you'll still need to really double cleanse because those are waterproof sunscreens. So you want to make sure you get those off. But that can be another nice way to create that buffer between the makeup you're wearing and your healthy skin underneath.
Yeah. Yeah. And to keep the irritants away. I see we have a question
Mhm.
from Sarah.
Sarah says, it seems overwhelming to sort through all these ingredients. Can I just give you all my products and you tell me if they're okay or not?
we
Reach out to
prefer
customer service. We can
we
try to help.
prefer that you not do that. I mean, we don't have time either to go through each and every product that you have. I recommend printing out the list from the website and then checking things as you go. Morgan does do some of that checking when you do an acne consultation. She'll go through and check a lot of things, but even then, she's just doing a real quick look through. And sometimes it's just she knows. But as soon as she'll spot one ingredient, she'll just go, nope, because we don't have time to check all of you guys's product ingredients. One thing you can do, you can go on the AOS Insiders and you can post a list of ingredients, and the other insiders they love to help. You guys love to help each other, and I love that. So the other insiders might help you to do that. And if one of our estheticians, myself or Celine, Lauren, MJ, if one of us are on the insiders and we see the post, we might pipe in now and then. But we really can't go through all of you guys' skincare products for you and your hair care. Remember, it's all your
It's a
hair
lot.
care as well as your skincare.
I think it's just such an interesting conversation to have because there are just so many products out there that say for acne prone skin, and then you open up the ingredient deck and it's got, coconut oil right there at the top. It's really, really frustrating because it just makes you wonder like what kind of research are these folks doing before they go in and invest all this money to create a skincare line? They're
You know,
just choosing not to look at anything.
one of the worst ingredients is isopropyl myristate and myristyl
Mhm.
myristate. And I actually don't carry, even for healthy aging, I don't carry products that contain those two ingredients because
Well,
they'll,
we have two
oh, we
products on
do
our
have
whole
two
website.
now. Okay, tell me what they are.
We have Brightening Cream Enhanced from Ron
Okay.
Allison,
That
just
has
because
isopropyl myristate in it?
it does.
Oh,
It
okay.
used to. It used to. Maybe
Okay.
maybe someone, maybe one of our staff watching can look, but it used to have isopropyl
Okay.
myristate for the longest time. And then the one other product is the makeup remover from Neogenesis.
Oh, I know it
Yeah.
does. We had a lot of go around meetings about bringing that on because, like I was saying, I'm pretty against those two ingredients. They're like the two of the highest pore cloggers you can find. And I can use a product with that in it without getting a pimple, but my pores will really just start building up. And I've got to do a lot of
Mhm.
extra exfoliation and stuff. And to use that as your nourishing face cream for healthy aging, I don't agree with doing that. That's like putting lanolin on your face. It's just doing this surface kind of stuff without really feeding the skin. So those are two ingredients that I pretty much avoid all the time.
Well, this is a good question. Are products with sodium chloride bad to use for acne prone skin?
So it all depends on the percentage of sodium chloride in there. We do have a few products that we use with our clients with sodium chloride that have not caused a problem. And we've been using them for a long time. One of them that comes to my mind is isocell recovery solution from Lemieux. We have a lot of acne clients that use that with no problems. I think where you see more of a problem with sodium chloride is when they're putting it into makeup. Sodium chloride is just salt, but it's a thickener. And if they use that as a thickener in makeup, for some reason, when they mix it with makeup in that way, then it becomes a problem. When it's a little sodium chloride in a toner or a mist or a spritz, and it's all of that water in with it,
Mhm.
then it's actually more conductive and actually helps to pull healthy ingredients and your serums deeper into the skin. But when it's being used in your foundation, as a thickener, that's when it's gonna be a problem for you.
So Lauren pointed out that Rhonda Allison Brightening Cream Enhanced does have isopropyl myristate.
Okay.
So that is one of our very, very few products that has
It
it. But
does,
it's an
and I love to
amazing
use that on my
product.
arms.
It's
It's the one I
amazing.
use on my arms, but I don't like it on my face, and that explains to me why I don't like the texture of that on my face, but I
It
do
might
like
be
it on
why.
my arms. Yeah,
Hmm.
so we just turn an expensive face product into a body product.
It happens.
It happens.
Were there?
Yeah, and you know
Mhm.
why Rhonda would do that? I can explain a little bit of why. I mean, I can't fully explain why because I don't think she should put it in there, but most of Rhonda's line for pigmentation is a bit drying. It's really geared towards pulling up that dark pigmentation and sloughing it off using that scrub and the enzymes to get rid of that top layer of speckled dark skin. And when you do
Mhm.
that, then you've also got to be putting on a heavier moisturizer because you've got to protect that barrier at the same time. Because
Mhm.
we know with hyperpigmentation, if you get over dried out, you're going to get more hyperpigmentation. So there was probably something going on in the chemist's head
Mhm.
around that, and that's how that ingredient got in there. But it's very surprising because Rhonda originally, uh, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, when she started her line, she didn't even have moisturizers because she did not like moisturizers and felt that they would clog the pores and clog the skin. Your skin wouldn't be able to breathe. So she used more oils. Her growth factor serum, that original growth factor
Mhm.
serum, is that really lovely, warm kind of an oil. It wasn't
Mhm.
until maybe 10 years in that she started developing moisturizers without ingredients that would allow the skin to breathe. People wanted a cream moisturizer, and so
Mhm.
she said okay, and she started really working on perfecting them. And she has some very wonderful moisturizers.
She does.
Ultra Hydration is a hyaluronic acid based cream moisturizer that's acne safe. It's fantastic. One of
Mhm.
her other creams is aminopeptide moisturizer, and it's not acne safe, but it doesn't cause any breakouts for people who are not acne
Mhm.
prone. And my aging clients, even my rosacea clients, love that moisturizer. Do we
Okay,
have
we
another
got a
question?
good question. So
Okay.
Bella wants to know if you can use products that are not good for your face on your body without issues. For example, shea butter. So this is a good question.
It is.
So there's a few different avenues here. So if it's a body wash that you're washing off, it's just got a like one pork logger ingredient in it. It's low on the ingredient deck. Probably going to be okay. But if it is like a thick body butter and you break out on your, well, for one, if you break out on your body, yeah, keep it acne safe. But for example, if you only have acne on your face, you don't break out on your body. And you have like
Exactly.
this thick shea butter, coconut oil body butter that you want to lather all over, I would say skip it And the reason is because it's going to get on your hands. You're going to touch your face. You're going to go to sleep and touch your face. You're going to put your arm up while you're sleeping. It's going to travel and it's going to get to your face and it's going to harm the process of you getting clear and staying clear. And that's just beyond frustrating. I totally get it. So take that as you will. Sometimes if my hands are really, really dry, I'll slap on something really moisturizing and not acne safe, but then just be really careful not to touch my face. You can also buy little silk gloves and you could put lotion on your hands, put the silk gloves on, and sleep like that. So those are some little tips to get around if you have really, really dry, cracked hands and you just need a rich, rich butter for them. So
One thing
that's
to
my
keep
take
in
on it.
mind, yeah, one thing to keep in mind is shea butter is actually anti-inflammatory.
Hmm.
And so there are many of our clients who just have a kind of a hormonal monthly breakout, and they use the balm from Sorella, but the balm and the shea butter and the balm is so nicely refined that it maintains that anti-inflammatory property, and the heaviness of the oil, because it's been refined properly, doesn't usually cause people to break out.
Hmm.
But if you were to go and buy raw shea butter and put that on your face or your body, you would
Or your
see
hair.
breakouts, or your hair.
Hmm.
People do that on their hair. Then you will see breakouts because it's all in how things are processed that really makes a
I
difference.
know. And it makes it so tough for us because we can't just go and rule this product always bad because things can be refined differently. Things can be formulated in a way that makes it okay. It's
Yeah.
very, very interesting. All right, that is the all the questions for now.
But in general, if you need something, a body cream for your legs or, your arms, and they're not acne prone, you can usually get away with a nice lotion that or cream, as long as there's not too many perfumes in it and it's, decently made in a decent lab. You can probably get away with it and be fine. There's a lot of really like I'm thinking of our moon dip. Using that on your body is so nice, anti-aging. It just smells good,
Mhm.
feels good, really pure ingredients. But what I would do with that is wash my hands after I put it on so that I'm not then touching my face and getting breakouts because I'm one of these kind of people. And
Mhm.
if I had that on my hand, I'd be sure to get a nice big pimple right there. So that would be the
Yep.
tip on that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So a few other things that can kind of cause breakouts and clogged pores. We talked about hair, skin, and body care. And one of the biggest things is fabric softener. I can't tell you how many clients I've worked with, teenage girls in particular, who after 6, 8 weeks were still struggling to get their skin clear. And I'm checking everything. I'm asking them all the questions. Are you using this? Are you using that? And I'll say, are you using dryer sheets? And they'll say, oh no, I don't use dryer sheets. And then the mom will pipe in, oh no, I get the natural kind of dryer sheets. And I'd say, that's it. No dryer shot sheets, not even natural dryer sheets, because those will cause severe breakouts. Your sheets that you're laying on, your clothes that you put on,
Mhm.
breakouts on your chest, your back. No fabric softener, no kind of dryer sheets. If you're worried about static and keeping your clothes soft, buy 3 wool balls and put those in your dryer and they'll take care of it and do the trick for you. And then with your laundry detergent, going with the free and clear and not always natural is not always best, even with laundry detergents. So you've really got to check those ingredients. Do
So
we have
Sarah
another
is
question?
asking,
Mhm.
yeah, Lauren mentioned Fitzpatrick levels earlier. Does this affect acne differently? So that is an interesting question. It's more that it affects, well, in my opinion, it's more that it affects how we would treat it and how your acne turns into scarring and pigmentation.
Mhm. The darker your Fitzpatrick, the darker your skin type, the more sensitive you are to acids and things that will cause hyperpigmentation. And
Mhm.
and so we have to be a little bit more careful. If we over dry a darker Fitzpatrick, especially I just come up this area always comes to mind because when you start on acne med, this area, if it gets too dry and you have a darker Fitzpatrick skin, you could end up with some dark pigmentation around here that
Mhm.
then we're working to fade out in there. So for a darker Fitzpatrick, we've got to keep your skin more moist and be a little bit more gentle with your skin. Those with really fairer skins, it's not as tricky. More when it comes to affecting acne is that oil level, is how much oil is your skin producing and
Mhm.
how thick are the hair follicles on your face and stuff like that. That contributes more um, toward acne, but it's much deeper even than that because of course you all know, or many of you know, if you're very fair and you're very dry skinned and you can't even see your pores, they're so small, but you're getting breakouts. And so it's a little more complicated.
Okay. Gina, did we cover everything you wanted to cover about comedogenicity?
I think we did. I might think of
I think
something
we did.
tomorrow, but for today, I'm pretty happy with what we've covered here. I'm really excited with the work that Dr. Fulton did and how we keep enlarging on that information. And I'm really happy to see how many other estheticians out there are studying the work of Dr. Fulton and also studying the work of Face Reality because it's really helping to educate everyone so that more
Mhm.
companies are making products that are not using those acne causing ingredients. There's still
Yeah.
some old school lines that are really big skincare lines. And
Mhm.
even in their acne products, they're still using these acne causing ingredients because the people working in the labs, they aren't aware of what we're doing out here in the world and working with real people. And they keep using the wrong ingredients in there. So it's exciting to see companies like Clearstem,
Mhm.
Orgade and Botnia, these other lines coming out, and they're new, and they are embracing the newer understandings of what causes breakouts for the skin.
Mhm.
There's also some
Yeah.
makeup lines, like Celine mentioned,
Mhm.
that makeup line. Um, there's also another makeup line called Priya. It's just based on Dr. Fulton's list of ingredients just made for acne skin, and they make powders and sticks and all kinds of stuff. And so it's just
Mhm.
exciting to see more stuff happening in that direction. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for your questions, ladies. Those were great questions. And we all hope you all have a really nice evening. And we'll see you back here next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.